in our Zoom audience. Welcome. Shall we start the recording, Lynn?
Yeah, I did. I
Oh,
did.
I did.
Yeah, good. Yeah, that's great. So you want to start the show now? Should we start the show now? We can do that if you want.
it's the show now. Great.
We might as well, huh?
Yes, we have some great guests lined up for you today.
Yeah. Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us here on Zoom and on Facebook Live. We are going to have a wonderful show today featuring Derek Lott. He's a house music composer. Then we're going to have Trayce Eileen. She is a smooth jazz composer. And Thomas Morkos. He is zooming in with us all the way from Rio de Janeiro, Brazil, to give us some wonderful Brazilian samba, bossa, all of that, right?
Exciting. Yeah,
It's going to be a
we're
great show.
worldwide now.
Yeah.
We're worldwide. That's fantastic. Well, we're going to start today featuring Derek Lott. And Derek,
I want to introduce you, Lynn. So, Lynn and I are the producers of this show, Composers Cafe. My name is Sammy Scott, and this is Lynn Colbert Jones, and we are both live streaming from Chicago. So,
awesome.
yeah, take it away, Lynn.
Yeah. Thank you for joining us, you guys. Derek, we're going to start with Derek. So Christina Miranescu is going to be our production artist specialist extraordinaire for the day. And if you can bring up Derek Lott, that would be fantastic.
There. Derek, are you
Yeah,
muted?
there we go.
Are you
Uh,
muted, Derek?
no, I think I'm good. Can you hear me okay?
Oh, yes. Oh, yeah.
Thank you. Great. Fantastic.
Yeah, hi, Derek. How are you?
I'm doing pretty well. Pretty
We are
well.
so happy to have you here today, and we are so excited to talk about house music.
Yes, I have been really enjoying you guys' show since we got connected and you introduced me to it. And I was like, there's a place for house music. I really haven't seen that on the show, but I'm willing to participate. You know me, I'm willing to give it a try, and I think we'll have a lot of fun.
I
I'm
think we
very
will
excited
too.
about having you on the show. I actually had to do a little homework on house music. I've heard of it. I am a little old to go to the clubs. I think in the 80s, I was not going to the dance clubs. I was, so I was like reading up on, I was really surprised that house music has its origins in Chicago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it goes a little bit further back than that. There was a movement in New York, and Frankie Knuckles, who is like the father of house music, and Ron Hardy were in Chicago building this genre, and so it really has some fascinating origins, and people debate it and argue about it. But I tell you one thing, it is a spiritual thing, and everybody can join in. That's for sure.
But we will take this opportunity since we're from Chicago to claim it. We'll claim.
That's it. That's it.
We are the biggest, the
Yes.
best, the first.
That's it.
Yeah,
It was, yes,
yeah.
it was first called house music
In Chicago.
That's
right. And we all know it as house music, and everybody in the world knows it as house music from Chicago. And I'm just so happy to see that house music is still here and still alive. We were around in the beginning. I am most familiar with old school house music, and gosh, it's so much has happened since its inception. So talk to us a little bit about what you've done in this house music world, this small world that is.
Sure. So,
so
you
big.
know, I've been writing for a while, and I have some other music out there that is more R&B or soul, that type of thing. But I used to be a DJ, and one of my best friends, DJ Dewey B, really got me in, and a gentleman by the name of Bill Mo. And so come full circle with through COVID, people started DJing. I don't know if you noticed a lot of online parties and online DJing.
Yeah.
And so Dewey got back into it. And I said, you know, this music is so much a part of our lives. Why don't we start writing some music around this culture and this music? And so that's how I got back into writing house music.
Yeah.
And I'm going to share some things with you tonight that I think will be a lot of fun. But it just really is. I mean, it's great. It's a vibe music. It's generally uplifting and positive. I say it saved my life when I was in high school, because in the streets of Chicago, there were many options, and you could really go down the wrong path. And I think it kept a lot of people out of the streets. And even today, we see the value of music and pushing people in positive directions.
Absolutely. When you started writing, so when you started, you weren't originally writing house
No,
when you began composing.
no.
So what were you writing first, and how did that come about?
As I said, I started writing some soul music. I play a little trumpet. So I wrote a lot of little Herb Alpert type songs, if you know Rise and things like that.
Yeah.
And again, it's just evolved to different genres and different feels. Sometimes I wake up, I feel a little bit country. Some days I wake up a little rock and roll. So
Would you say house music? It's mostly rhythm driven, right? It's not lyric driven or melody.
Yeah, it depends, right? So when people talk about house music, you may think about electronic music, EDM or other things like that. But when you go to original house, a lot of that music was disco music, R&B, funk, four on the floor, boom, 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 boom. A lot of the bands were part of what we danced to house. There was Temptation songs that we danced to, Stevie Wonder songs. So people may think about it as electronic and driven more by the groove. But often there are lyrics and stories that are very profound in the house genre.
Yeah.
I hear that you have a show also on Facebook called House Culture Conversations.
Oh, you guys have been doing your background check, huh? So when Dewey decided to go virtual and start doing some sets, we said, it'd be really nice to have something to complement it. And so we started this show called House Culture Conversations. It's a talk show, and it'll be on immediately following your show today at 6 p.m. Central Standard Time, where we bring people from back 30, 40 years ago to talk about house music, the parties, the DJs, and it's with every walk of life, not just the VIPs. We talk to people that were just on the dance floor, or people that never got to go to a house party because they were on punishment. People, we just have a good time talking about the music and the culture that we love so much.
So today, I know Dewey. Dewey's a great guy. How is he involved in your composing? Is he producing it all, or working with you on that end? Or what are you guys doing together? I know you have the record label now.
Yeah. So this may be a good place for me to drop in that clip that talks a little bit about my process. If we can cut to that, if that's okay.
That would be great.
All right, I'm going to share my screen, and everybody, I'm going to give you 5 minutes, a little bit on my process. So let me get myself together here, and I'll come right back. Watching the Composers Cafe. Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm going to do a little bit of this in virtual and record some of it because I am traveling, but I wanted to give you a look at the creative process. And when I'm thinking about a song, and the song I'm going to share with you is called Don't Wait, it was really something that came to me in meditation. I was in my prayer and meditative state in the morning, and Don't Wait stayed with me throughout the day. And as an author as well, sometimes it's an idea for something I need to write, blog, or something like that. But in this case, it felt like music. And so don't wait, don't wait, don't wait. And he's like, don't wait for what? Don't wait too late. And then don't wait too late for to change, I think is how it came together. And so I was like, okay, don't wait too late to change, got it. So that just kind of stuck with me most of the day. And then I usually come to the piano and I start just playing and saying the words, don't wait too late. And as I'm playing around, these chords came to me. Let's see. those chords came to me. Don't wait, too late. Kind of came to me, and I like to close my chord. So I close that B flat chord, close that G chord, and brightened up that G flat chord, and started to come together. And then I had some turn chords in there, and these were the chords. So let's put the words to it. Don't wait, too late to change. Don't wait, too late to change. And from there, I started trying to put the lyrics together. So that's where the work comes in. Like, okay, what's this all about? And I often search inside for my content for songs, experiences that I've had. Very seldom do I find it externally. In this case, I thought about growing up and the idea of wanting and desiring things that were out of my reach. The first lyric says, I see the sunrise, and that's not my life. I'm seeing sunshine and sunny days, but that wasn't my life. Been used, abused, I've been through. But I heard a voice, and I have a lot of inspirational insight and motivation in my writing. And that led to the song, Don't Wait Too Late to Change. And I see the sunrise, that's not my life. I've been used and abused, I've been through, but I heard a voice call my name. Follow me, it's time for change. Oh, how I wanna be in that number. When he calls me, I'll be ready. Oh, so happy. No more worries, down on my knees. And that was the first verse, and it led to I'm going to now turn it back, come back to you live, and play 2 or 3 versions of the song. The first will be my cover, me singing, that I provide as my first set, what I call reference version. And that'll go out to one of my production partners, Blacker Than Me, Sean Hibbler. And then I will have a singer. As you can tell, I'm not the greatest of singers, but in this instance, Kim Franklin. She's amazing. She's actually going to be the vocalist that you hear on the final version. And then what I'm going to do is play you a remix. One of the beautiful things about house music is that you can respin and replay. And it's so exciting to do your own music that way. So we're going to play a version of that for you today. So I'm going to come back live to you. Thank you guys so much for allowing me to show you my space where all this creativity happens, and a little bit about my process. So that was a little bit about how I go about it. And that last piece, when I talk about the mixing and the respinning, that's where DJ Dewey B comes in, and he just rocks it out. And so I have a few excerpts, but you may have some more questions for me.
Oh my gosh, that was fantastic. That was fantastic.
Now, I will tell you, this is a first, so I'm watching it like, oh man, okay.
I thought it was so creative of you to do that video for us, because when you said I would like to show my process, and we were trying to figure out how he could do that, and he did it so well, Sammy, right?
Loved it. I loved it.
Yeah.
So like when you do these remixes, you actually take them and stretch them and add stuff to an already recorded song. You could do it to
Right. Well, so we did the first song, and Dewey came back and said, hey, there's no break in the song. So if you know anything about house music, it's really the DJ connecting songs from one song to the next song, and endless music for hours.
Yeah.
Right? and I never forget when I was DJing, they said, whatever you do, don't stop the music, keep them dancing.
Yeah.
So the worst thing in the world for a DJ is everybody stop dancing and look at you like, what are you doing? It's the worst thing in the world.
You don't
You
want
got to
that.
keep them dancing. Keep them dancing. That's it.
And
So go ahead.
I have to say, you can sing.
Oh, I can hold a tune. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
didn't say that. You said you weren't a singer and you had other people sing, and we're listening to you saying, "What's going on here? We missed something."
Yeah, well, you're bringing the best out of me. So I got to thank the Composers Cafe for giving me newfound confidence in my singing skills.
Oh, Derek, that's so awesome. So seriously, it's awesome, and I love that. Like you say, you have these processes that you go through. You're able to do rough cuts and variations of, send them over to Dewey, let him, do his thing, add his magic. Uh, I just think it's fantastic. I saw too, though, that you had written a gospel album in the
Yes,
past. Talk to
that
us
was
about that.
that was a project in 2000. I want to say it was the early 2000s, 2001, 2002. I had one of these moments in prayer that was like, if you left this life, what would you be disappointed that you didn't take advantage of? And I said, my music, because I had played music all my life, loved music. And I had put my trumpet in a closet. It was so stiff, you couldn't even press the button down. And so I was like, man, I really would like to do something with my music. And so I went to Dewey with my little trumpet and I said, Dewey, you got to help me. I got to do this music thing. He was like, yeah, okay, let's see what he's talking about. So I pulled my horn out and I was tooting around. He was like, well, I tell you what, let's take it slow and see what we get. So we started doing little Christmas albums. I'd play Christmas song or something like that. And I would send it to family and friends. And that over the years evolved to me getting more comfortable with my craft because it is a skill. Some people are talented in music, but you can develop the skill of music. And so I started learning a few chords. I started learning and I started getting songs. And I developed what I call the genre of real Christian soul.
Hmm.
So it's music that is uplifting, positive, and has that little neo soul vibe to it. And I wrote some really cool songs. There's a song on the album. It's really nice album. And it was just a lot of fun. It was my first time writing. I also found out a lot about the business of music. It's not necessarily always cheap. It's much more accessible now, but getting studio time, paying musicians and takes and retakes, it can get expensive real quick. And so, yeah, I learned just a lot about music from that experience.
Can you tell us a little bit how you started your own label?
Um, sure. We were talking and we were like, well, we should probably, create the label. And the question of a label is nothing more than coming up with the brand, right? Because one, you have to go register it, but to register it, it has to be a working brand. So that was the first thing I went out to there's a government site for you to register your logo and the name. And so you have to go out there and make sure nobody else is using the name, that no one else has copyrights or logos. So you have to first clear that you have a good brand, but then you have to be actually using the brand. And so we came up with Hot Pepper Soul because we didn't want it to make it just house because we're going to explore other genres and other music. And we came up with a logo and then we started producing the music under the brand and started marketing the music. So now we can actually go and register for the actual copyrights and the other things on the federal site. It slips me what it is, but you go out there and you apply for it. And once you get it, you own the rights to that logo and to that name, to that record label.
How many artists do you have on your label?
Right now, you have myself, and we have a couple of other singers and other people that we run work through, but it's really mostly about right now the work that we're doing. If we have time, I do have a piece that I'll share that is still house, but it's me playing the trumpet. And so that's another piece. So I'm doing this kind of writing piece, but I'm also exploring my musicianship as a trumpeter as well.
Love that. I love that. You have something called Real, the collaboration project.
And that's that project we've been talking about.
That's
Yep.
the one we're talking about.
Yeah.
My gosh, this is just absolutely amazing.
Well, if I don't trip up too much, I'd love to come back and do that album for you and actually play some of that stuff live for you.
Well, you're never gonna trip up because you're too good for that. And I will also segue into the fact that after 3 months or so, every 3 months, Sammy and I do a Composers Cafe reunion show. So we will be
Awesome.
asking those of you for 3 month span to come back, and you'll get to do three of your original songs live. There's no interview, but it turns out to be a wonderful, almost like concert day for us. It's
Oh, that's
fantastic.
great.
So
Awesome.
we'll be asking for you to come back in 3 months for that. But I wanted to ask you who your influences are in house music. I know you had made reference to some of them, but who influenced you in terms of your songwriting?
Well, it's really a lot of groups. The DJs, if you're familiar with the Chosen Few DJs,
Oh, of
that's
course.
a mix of Terry Hunter. You have on there Mike Dunn and several others, Alan King. These guys spin some of the most amazing music. And I don't think people really recognize the time and the commitment that DJs make to their craft. They're always looking for new music. They're always spending time listening for sounds. And many of these gentlemen are producers of music as well. So they have dedicated their life to the art form and to the culture and the music. And so I really look at them a lot. Your Hot Mix Five, Farley, Rosario, all of those cats. We used to be in the car, the Hot Mix Five, ain't no drive or whatever, right?
They were on every Friday. Was it Friday night?
Yeah, Friday,
Five.
it was like Hot Mix Five, Drive at Five, something like
Yeah,
that. I
yeah,
know.
Is
Just
that
cause,
Chicago radio?
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't move here till mid '80s, so I didn't.
Yeah, I remember, we used to tape those programs off the radio on a little cassette, and that cassette was worth like $1 million.
Yeah.
You have one of them tats, hey, bring the tape, play the tape. They're like, oh,
Yeah.
and then
Yeah.
back then when, the cassette player would eat your cassette,
Yeah.
you would lose your mind. All right.
Because you couldn't get it again.
That
And
was
there
it.
was nothing else like that hot mix,
Game
right?
over. It was the
Yeah.
worst. It
Yeah.
was the worst.
Yeah, those are some great times. I have some great memories of these guys, and some of them actually taught me how to spin a little bit. I used to bug them while they were DJing and say, "Can you teach me how to do that?" And so they finally taught me. I actually know how to do that with the two turntables and everything. Really cool with all those guys.
So, Lynn, did Derek say he had another clip for us?
Derek's actually gonna play a song or two
Yes.
for
So
us.
I'm gonna play the final version of Don't Wait, and you're gonna get to hear Kim Franklin. You're gonna hear the production of Blacker Than Me, and you're gonna hear the mix by DJ Dewey B. And so from what you saw in that first clip of me creating and writing the song Don't Wait is now that process of letting these other people who are experts in certain lanes do their craft. And I think they did a magical job. So I'm going to share my screen again. Let me go find the track first. Let me jump to this. All right, let me share my screen with you guys. Come here. All right, share.
Wow. I
That,
love it.
My gosh, Derek, that was fantastic.
oh, thanks, thanks.
That-
So hopefully you heard as you listened to it, there wasn't really a break in that song. And so that was one of the things doing I talked about. So we got to remix the song. So hopefully in the time of this interview, there'll be a couple of minutes that I'll be able to give you an excerpt of the remixed party version of that song.
We're going
yeah,
to make time for that.
Yeah,
So
yeah, we will definitely for that.
is it that that I don't even know how to describe the sound. It's so full and lush,
yeah.
and it's so nice. Is and now how does that happen? Is that Dewey's magic? And
That's Block It and Me. So Block It and Me is a gentleman by the name of Sean Hibbler, very talented. He's worked with Kendrick and the Family Soul. He's worked with recently on Isley's project. He's very talented. I just had the good fortune of crossing his path. And we've just done some really cool stuff. He was instrumental on my Real Christian Soul album, just very talented from not only musicianship, but also he has a degree in studio engineering and sound. And so his production is just fantastic. I give him, and he just fills it out with all the little bits. If you hear it in the beginning, there's this little organ piece that just chirps in there. That. I mean, I'm like, where'd he come up with that? And so this is where I learned that let people that know how to do this, that have that piece of it, you do your creative thing. And learning all this technology and all this other stuff takes away from me being the creator. And
Yeah,
he takes my
yeah.
ideas and he goes and creates this whole new world of where my concepts can live. And it's just amazing. I love collaborating with him.
whoa, it's so nice.
That sounded wonderful.
And
That
then,
sounded wonderful.
so
I
what makes
have
it sound
a
good.
question about.
Yeah, before you said I was going to answer your question. What makes it sound like that
Yeah,
is Dewey
yeah,
he mixes. So he listens to every line. There's like about 18 to 20 different tracks in that
yeah.
song. And Dewey goes through each one of them and places them in the right space, the right volume, the right whatever the stuff again, that's his lane is mixing and mastering. And so he fills it out and makes
So,
everything sound so good.
so the other artist is uh, basically producing, and then
Mhm.
and Dewey's mixing or mastering
Mixing
the
and
tune
mastering.
after
Yeah.
that. Yeah. My question about house music in particular, because it is such house music is a whole nother thing. That people aren't, you know, going out to buy a house record like they are going to buy the Michael Jackson record,
Yeah.
right? So, what's your take on the marketing in the house music realm? Because you're not going to end user really. You're kind of going to DJs and
Right.
discos and clubs and all that. So, how do
Yeah.
you rectify all of that? And how are you going to market? And how is that different from what you do with your R&B and gospel and everything else?
Yeah, well, you're absolutely right. You hit the nail on the head. Usually, it is a DJ that gets a hold of your track, plays it, people listen to it, and hopefully they have something like Shazam or something that, hey, what is that song? And they try to get a hold of it, which has really helped. I don't know if many of your listeners use something like Shazam or something,
I do.
because you hear these songs, you're in a store or something, you hear a song, you're like, man, I love that song. So you're like
Yeah,
holding that thing up to where's
yeah,
the speaker? Where's
yeah,
the speaker, right?
yeah. That's right. And you get mad if Shazam doesn't know the song.
Exactly. And so, that's a big piece of it when, we get our music out to DJs, but we also have the platform of social media. So if you go to our Instagram site or go to our Facebook site for Hot Pepper Soul or House Cultures Conversations, we promote it a lot there. So if people like the music, they can go to Bandcamp and get it. So I do a lot of music comes through Bandcamp or Track Source for a lot of the
Yeah.
DJs and others in this space that make music, but it's hard. Quite frankly, it's hard because music is very accessible at low cost or at no cost, quite frankly.
And again, it's unique. Back in the day where I was really into house music on a daily basis, it was all about it was the songs, but it was not just the songs, it was the mix, right?
Mhm.
It was
Oh, yeah.
not just the single, it was the mixture of 12 singles into one mix. And so
Yes.
so that I think is also unique about house music, because
Yeah.
you kind of want to hear a tape. You don't,
Oh,
you know,
absolutely.
I don't know what they're
Absolutely.
calling it
The
today, but you want to hear tape. You don't want to just
absolutely.
hear a single, right?
Exactly. The
Yeah,
best
yeah,
DJs, and I consider Dewey to be one of the best DJs that I know of from the perspective of, putting a body of work together for a night. You're about
yeah,
to spend for 2-3 hours,
yeah.
and you take that audience, you take that crowd on a journey, a musical
That's right.
exploration. You may
That's
start
right.
off with something 110 BPMs, like Alicia Myers, I Want to Thank You. And then by the end of the night, you're up at 140 BPMs and got people sweating on Go Bang.
Yeah,
And it's just, it's that storytelling through music. And the only way you do that is you study the music. It's a skill. I tell people, spinning, yes, anybody can go get a little controller, put some music out there and put 2 songs together, but not many people can curate an
that's right.
experience, curate a feel,
That's
curate a night of enjoyment where you take your troubles off of what was happening at your house or the bad day you had at work. You put in that house music and you're just like,
yeah. You're somewhere else.
I think I totally had a lesson here. I knew what, I mean, I thought I knew what a mixtape was, but I just learned something. So this is,
Oh,
yes,
and you, Sammy, you're gonna have to maybe Derek, maybe you should have Dewey do a tape for us.
yeah.
And so
I
Sammy
hope
needs
he's
a
out
tape,
there.
right?
If Dewey, you out there, hopefully you heard that. There's been a request for one of your custom tapes. We had I will tell you a story. We had a dear friend, I mentioned Bill Moe. He passed away, our best friend, my best man in my wedding. He passed away this past February. Very tough
So sad.
time.
So
And
sad.
Dewey did a mixtape, and we played house at the funeral. And so, and some people, oh, I don't know if that's appropriate, but the song opens up with the Clark sisters, the Sunshine.
Mm,
You are
yeah.
the sun. I don't know if you know that
You
song.
are the
You
sunshine.
are the
Yep.
sunshine. I mean, and that is a Christian religious song
Yeah.
that is redone to a house beat. And it was, nothing could be more appropriate. And it just shows the power of house music, not to just get people on a dance floor dancing, but also speak to your heart and lift you higher.
Yeah. That's fantastic. That's fantastic. So do you have another song to play
I
for
do.
us?
So what I wanted to do is now I'm going to give you the remixed version of Don't Wait. And so as you listen to it, you're going to be like, this is totally different, but a lot of fun. So let me share my
But
screen
the
one more
same,
time.
but the same song.
It's the same song.
I love this,
Absolutely.
Sammy. He showed us how he created the song.
that's
We
great.
got to hear the finished product. Now we're going to have another rendition. Sammy and I have written some songs together. We will be at your house tomorrow. Have Dewey there, and you can make our songs house and just remix and remaster and produce. Right, Sammy?
Oh, that would be so cool.
All right. So here I go. I'm going to share my screen one more time.
Okay.
And here we go. Okay, and that's a little excerpt of Dewey B's work. That's DJ Dewey B, 100% taking the track and finding those little cool sounds out of the track, dubbing them, sampling them, putting them back into another beat, and just having a heck of a lot of fun. So it's really been cool. And I want to be cognizant of time because I think we're getting pretty close.
Yeah, but this is perfect. I mean, we're actually right on time. And
Awesome. Awesome.
you can tell us about any upcoming projects, any releases where people can buy your music.
Mhm.
Please do now.
Yes, go to bandcamp.com/Hot Pepper Soul. And Hot Pepper Soul is HOTPEPPASOUL. And you'll find us. And we've got about 6 or 7 songs out there. We have a remake of the Nina Simone Feeling Good, or It Feels Good, that song. And I'm feeling good. You know that song? Birds
Yeah,
flying
yeah.
high,
Oh, of
you know how
course,
I
of
feel. We got
course.
a house
Yeah.
version of that. So we're taking care of everybody from every angle. It's just been a lot of fun, Lynn. And we have our website on Facebook, Hot Pepper Soul, on Instagram, Hot Pepper Soul. And we cross everything, and would love for you guys to follow us and stay connected and really exchange ideas. We are looking to collaborate. So we're looking for writers, we're looking for musicians and singers. So if you want to hang out with us, we want to hang out with you. And I really appreciate the opportunity to hang out on this amazing platform, Lynn and Sammy. This has just been a blast. I've had such a good time.
Coming on.
Yeah.
Absolutely, and we're so happy to have you here. You have been wonderful. You've taught some folks about house music. We love to see your process. I think that this was a first on Composers Cafe where
Very cool.
we actually got to see and witness from beginning to end. So thank you for that experience. That was wonderful. I loved it.
And
Thank
we
you
look
so
forward
much.
You are
Sammy and I
very
are
welcome.
happy
You're
to
very
have you.
welcome.
Of course, hon. What'd you say, Sammy? Sammy, what did
we
you
look
say, hon?
forward to having him on the reunion concert.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. He's got to come back for that. Derek, thank you so much. Please send love and hugs to Dewey for me. I
I
really,
will.
really am
Absolutely.
happy to have you here. And please stick around for our next guest.
Absolutely.
Wow. Thank you guys so much.
That was great.
Wow, that was great.
Fun.
All right, we are moving on to Trayce Eileen. Trayce Eileen. And Christina, there you go. We got her. Trayce Eileen, hello and welcome to Composers Cafe.
Hi, thank you, Lynn. Thank you, Sammy.
Hi,
I
we
saw
are
you
so happy
grooving
to
to,
have
to, to Derek's music.
I know. I know she was enjoying it. And Tracy,
Yeah, I was.
I will tell you, I called Sammy earlier and she was sort of jamming, right? And I'm saying, Sammy, what's
Your
going
music.
on? She's like, I'm listening to Trayce Eileen.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Oh, that's fantastic. So tell us, who is Trayce Eileen? I see there's a T Smith. Your name is there as T Smith. So tell us about that. Tell us what's going
Okay.
on with Trayce Eileen.
So my name is Trayce Eileen Smith. And when I first started performing professionally about 10 years ago, I sang actually under Trayce Smith. And, you know, as I'm developing the business and developing my artistry, I came across a retired gentleman, retired from, he used to run a large label. And he said, you know, Trayce Smith is kind of boring. You need something, you know, a little more peppy. And so I came up, I said, well, Trayce Eileen, that's my middle name. I like it. He was like, yeah, that's great. So that's how we got Trayce Eileen.
So you are known now as Trayce Eileen.
Yes, absolutely.
And when did you start composing? I know you sing. You sing beautifully. When did writing come about?
So I actually started, now I've sang all my life, but professionally about 10 years ago, but I've also written songs probably for maybe the last 15 years. But the one that I recorded, the first one I actually recorded was once I started singing professionally. That was a tune I'm going to do for you tonight. And it's called Why Did I Say Yes? So very different composing style than Derek.
Which is why you're here, right? We have a nice variety, a nice mix of genres and music and all of that. So that was your first recording.
That was my first, yeah, actually, well, actually, that's not true. Well, yeah, I think it is true. Yeah, actually, that is my first. No, I actually recorded another song with a producer in Philly, Philly Bop. This was the Why Did I Say Yes was the first one that was recorded with my current band as well as as part of an album. And the other one is just sort of a song I haven't done much with, but I did record it in Philly.
So your lyrics are personal experience,
They
or
are, well, okay. So why did I say yes? Yes, it was about a personal experience. And my ex-husband thought it was about him. I was like, yeah, no, something worse than you. No, just playing. But it was like the worst relationship ever, the one right after I got divorced, which is, and uh and you know how you break up with someone because you know they're not good for you, and then time goes by, you run into them, and you're like, you somehow end up with them again, and you're like, how did I get here? What the heck? And so then you finally break up, and then you choose yourself, and you're like, okay, I'm good. That's essentially what the song is about. So I ran into this person at a conference, and I was so angry that I sort of let myself get sucked back in a little. And then I remembered why I broke up with him in the first place. And then I wrote the song when I got back home, and like that. And I heard the lyrics in my head. I heard the lyrics in my head. I heard the music and the melody in my head. And so I got with my keyboard player, and he actually charted the music for me, and we tweaked it a little bit, and that was the song.
you don't? So you don't
Wonderful.
have to play an instrument to write a song. That's for sure.
No, you
That's
don't.
right.
And even you can, correct, you can write the lyrics and you can hear the music and just have someone chart it for you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
And
how
and
does it feel to have a number 1, 2 song in the United Kingdom?
Oh, that was awesome. I was shocked. So that was on my third album. And it was funny. One of the things I have a couple of house music mixes of two of my songs.
ah,
Vic Lavender did a house music mix of Why Did I Say Yes, which is great. That's on the new album, the EP that I have out now. And the other one was mixed Now That We're Here. I mixed it with a gentleman by the name of Tom Glide. And he does sort of, they don't call it house in the UK, but it's house. It is kind of housey.
it is house.
And,
Yeah.
and that was, they just love that kind of, different type of flow. And that's the one that I didn't release that version in the US. And that's the one that went to number 2 on the UK Soul Chart.
I mean, congratulations, first of all. But
Thank
again,
you.
that was a great segue from Derek's segment to yours, because you didn't write those songs as house music. You did not write house.
I
You
didn't.
wrote, yeah, you
Thank
wrote the
you.
songs. They picked up the songs and did a house music rendition
No,
of
no.
the songs. Yeah.
I actually hired Tom.
Oh, to do the house. To
I
do the
hired,
house.
yeah, I
Yeah.
hired Tom. So I worked with radio for this, my third album was my big, step out, a lot of investment. Derek's right. It is a lot of money. And so this was like put all my chips in the table to get to the next level, right? And so in the UK, both here in the UK, I use different radio promoters. And the one in the UK, he suggested Tom Glide that we do a remix on that particular song. And he was absolutely right. It just took off in Europe. Yeah.
So did it actually do better? It did better over there than it did here.
I didn't release that version here. I released another version of the original
Oh,
version.
you never did reach it. Okay.
That song.
The original version, just not the house version.
Right. Yeah. And then the third song on the EP is the one that really blew up in the US and well, internationally, actually. Both here and overseas. Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Is your stuff on a label? And what is your stuff on a label? What label are you with?
So I have my own label. It's called Honey Crystal Records. And I'm my only client.
That's all you need, right?
Right, exactly. So when I started this process, and it was actually right after I got divorced, and I said, I'm just going to have the life and do what I want to do. You don't actually know. Thank you. You don't actually know. I didn't know how to do it when I started, and a lot of prayer and everything, but I made a promise to God. I ended up taking a year-long course at the Bloom School of Jazz because I wanted to work on my craft. I took a couple of classes first, and then he had a year-long class to go from amateur to professional that was like 10K. And I was like, this is like a major investment. So I was like, I could get a car. I could take this class. So when I did, I said, okay, well, God, if I do this, I'm going to keep going until you say no. And that was 10 years ago.
Oh, good.
7 years ago, actually.
So
I love that.
I read the way that you're releasing your new album. I don't know when the final release of the final project is, but you're doing one song per episode of your Meet Me in My Parlor, a musical interlude.
Yeah, let me tell you about that. So the album, I released the full album in June of 2020. And so we had planned to release the album in June, when the first single off the album in March, actually. And then the pandemic hit, like almost the day that with the shutdown happened, right? And I was freaking out. And I had a team. I had a PR guy, a social media guy, and my producer, who's down in Nashville, Kendall Duffy. And they were like, I was like freaking out. I was like, because I put like everything I had into this project. And they were like, okay, this could actually be kind of good, because now everyone is on level footing. The only thing anyone has is the internet.
Yeah.
And they said, and everyone is concerned. So not as many people are going to release right now because everybody's frozen. So let's just go with it. So I was like, okay. So I just delayed the single release by 2 weeks. So I released that on April 1st. That was somehow, some way. And then I started my web show, Meet Me in My Parlor, as a way to promote the album. And again, everybody just has the internet, right? No TV. I don't remember. That was like nothing. And the first show I had 1,100 people tune in. And so my intention was just to do it until June 15th is when I released the album. And I just decided to keep doing it, and providing entertainment. And then took off in August, and I still do it now. So I'm about to go back into Buddy Guys. I do a monthly residency at Buddy Guys Legends in Chicago. So I don't know how long I'm going to keep doing it. It's a big commitment to do. I go on twice a week. So
You've been doing that for a while. First of all, I think that's fantastic. But I want to talk about your career. I know you've opened for Babyface, After Seven, Mary Wilson, Shantae Moore, The Stylistics, and of course, Buddy Guy.
Yeah.
What does that feel like? And I love when you talked about your record label and the fact that you own and started your own record label, and you are the only artist on it. And Derek Lott says, I love that label.
Yeah, no, thank you.
That was so cool. But tell us about some of the experiences you've had opening for some of these great artists. And now you are, you're among them, right?
I'm sorry, what was the last thing you said?
Now you're one of them.
Oh, well, thank you. Well, it was amazing. So when I opened for Babyface, that was early on. I had been with my band. We've been playing, I guess it was actually in the first year of me playing with my band. So after the year-long course, the owner of the school, Larry Bloom, he wanted to help me kind of transition. So we tried him managing me briefly. It didn't work out, but he put together a band of amazing musicians who are still with me today. I just have a new drummer and I added a sax player. So I have a 5-piece band.
Nice.
But our first gig was at the Hollywood Casino. And I think I met someone there that was doing some promoting for the show with Babyface. And so they booked me for the opening act. So it was me, After Seven, and Babyface. And it was at the Country Club Hills Theater.
Wow.
And the only thing was I couldn't have my band. I used the tracks because Babyface had his band, his equipment. No one touched his equipment. So, and we didn't have enough time to swap stuff out. So I remember being so incredibly nervous, not having like the safety blanket of my band.
To follow you wherever you
Right. And it was a big stage. I had to go cover the stage. So that was amazing. Babyface was really nice. After Seven was very nice. So it was a great experience. And I got pictures, of course.
Wait, what's the last thing you said?
I was saying I got pictures of Babyface, of course.
Of course. He really is the sweetest guy. He really
is so nice. He was
really
very,
is
very
sweet.
nice. Yeah.
You were number 2 on the Billboard charts in the UK. That's with Sweeter with Time, right?
So Sweeter with Time actually was a different chart. I charted on a lot of charts internationally, but Sweeter with Time, when you release the album, you can release singles from it too to keep pushing the life of you want it to live as long as possible, right?
Sure.
And so I released the last single on it, Sweeter with Time, this March 2021. And so the first week of release, and I used Jason Goroff, who's my record promoter here in the US. So the first week of release, they charted on Billboard Smooth Jazz Radio at number 2 after Dave Cobb. So I was like, what? And even my promoter was like, what? So
he was supposed to his own work, huh?
He was, yeah. And so that one, it got up to over 220 smooth jazz stations in the U.S. and abroad. But it's still playing. So yeah.
Tracey, I think that's fantastic. I mean, what, Sammy? Did you hear? She just said she put all her chips on the table, and said, give me the answers. And so you go in the direction of your dreams, and then your dreams come true. I think that's fantastic. And I'm looking at smoothjazz.com, top 100 chart, top 100 indie chart, top 50 listener chart, smoothjazz.com radar chart, top 100, the network soul chart in the UK. I mean, come on. Come on. It's just, it can only, where do you go from here? You just keep writing.
Thank you. What one person, how does that help you as you create music to understand your audience? Thank you, Derek. So I'll answer that if that's okay.
Of course.
Okay. Well, so what I learned a while ago is that you don't create for your audience. You just create what you do, and then your audience will find you. So it's whoever will actually like your music will actually like your music, whatever you do, right? Yeah. And so, I guess unless you're writing commercially or writing for a particular artist or writing or it's like jobbing, but if you're being a real artist, you just do you, whatever you is. Yeah. And so I released on a contemporary adult R&B as well. And it did fine, went on Pandora, and it went, but the smooth jazz audience was the one that really loved me, right, and embraced me. And that I love
smooth jazz, soul, and R&B.
Yeah, right.
You love the jazz. Yeah, you do jazz. You do jazz. You do everything well, but I know that jazz is your forte. So
yes, smooth. Yeah, contemporary jazz. I love that that genre of music. I do a little blues, a little soul R&B, and it's sort of I call it smooth. I call it soul, smooth jazz, R&B is kind of what I always kind of put together.
Yeah.
So you co-wrote a bunch of things with Kendall Duffy.
Yes.
And you were saying how he intuitively just like picks up on what you're thinking. How does that work? How does that happen?
Okay, so this is what happened. I don't know how it happened, but in terms of him kind of it working out. But so after my second album, it was one original tune on there, and that was Why Did I Say Yes? I didn't really know how do I get on radio? Because my whole plan was to become an internationally known smooth jazz singer and tour the world with this is how I want to live the rest of my life, So that's always been the goal. So after I released my second album in 2018, and I was wondering, how do I get to the next point? I was introduced to a woman, Kenya Johnson, who does, she's a coach, entertainment coach, and she kind of coached me to understand what I needed to do to get on radio. And she introduced me to Kendall Duffy, who's an amazing producer in Nashville, and he does smooth jazz, mesa, but he does a lot of gospel genre as well. And so as far as us collaborating on the lyrics, he wrote the music and we collaborated on the lyrics. So he like write a hook or a chorus or something like that. And then I'd write the rest of the stuff around it. So what I write about a lot, obviously, is love and my love journey. That was actually the name of my first album, Love's Journey.
Love Journey.
Love's Journey, yes. And so when I did Why Did I Say Yes, and I would sing that song and other songs, some of my fans were like, hey, love can be great. I said, I know. So the last album, I decided to make it aspirational in terms of attracting the love that I actually wanted in my life. So I wrote Somehow, Some Way. Okay, now that you're here, let's move it on. And then Sweeter with Time, because you've met your guy and it just keeps getting better over time. So those were the 3 new songs. And then I added Why Did I Say Yes to It, which is kind of the beginning, or you're transitioning out of that part. And then I have the lavender house mix of that on the EP too. So Kendall would send me this music and these couple of things. I would just listen to it and just feel inspired about it. And then I'd write the lyrics. So they just kind of always kind of work together.
I love that you had the theme. You're hopeful, you're excited, then you're hopeful, and yeah, we're here, and then you go back to why did I say yes?
No. It starts at why did I say yes, right? And then you make a choice for you. Then you're like, I gotta find my love somehow. No, you gotta find me somehow. Now that we're here, let's make it permanent. And then we've made it permanent. He's the right man, and it just gets sweeter and sweeter with time. So that's
sweeter with time. Okay, I was
yes,
gonna say they can just look at the album and then read all the titles and know the whole story. Really love that. That's interesting because I know that Trayce has her master's degree, and I'm thinking she put some of that. Did you get your MBA?
I did. And being a business, my day job is corporate sales, so I had to fund this project, which has really been hard. So my life has kind of been on hold for a minute for the most part, as I kind of really focused on, this journey. And so I'm always left brain, right brain as I manage the business of the music business and then the art of it.
Oh, I think having a corporate sales background must really help you in this music.
It does.
Talk with the corporate guys. I mean,
that's the method to the madness. Yeah.
Right. I mean, and until for the vast majority of my career, I've had to do everything. Manage the business, manage the band, manage the promotions, do the marketing. Hire the coach, the producer, the PR guy, the social media, just everything. And then, by the way, get in the studio, write the song, sing.
By the way, be creative too. Yes. Yeah, because you do have to rely on your instincts and your judgment. All of that planning and strategy that goes into all of that. You can make one bad decision and derail the whole career.
Right.
So you have to have all of those components, and they have to be sound. You can't just go. They have to be sound.
Absolutely
no right or wrong decisions, but because they're just decisions, a lot of decisions you have to make.
That's
and
right.
You don't know which path it's going to lead you on.
Yeah, so I would say there's no right or wrong per se artistically, but on the business end, because it's money involved, I don't have unlimited resources. Okay. So I had to know what would work right, which is why I retained a coach because, and
Yeah.
the life of me, I don't know why people get coaches and then don't do what they say.
Right.
I mean,
Again, that's your MBA helping. That's why,
right.
that's
I'm
why
like
it's working.
paying you to tell me what to do. So, but yeah, you're right. And you're right. And some of it is you just intuitively, you're trying, and you're hoping God and the universe is responding to you.
And the dots are connecting.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's like the stars have
And the dots are
aligned.
connected.
There's a lot of magic. I mean, it doesn't negate any amount of talent, but the path, the trajectory has to stay straight.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Yeah.
for that to happen.
And and I find that the journey is definitely a faith walk. It's faith. You just have to believe that if you're moving in your purpose, and then God is going to reward that.
Right. No, you're absolutely right. Well, I would love to hear some of your original songs, and we are going to have a treat because she's going to sing them for us. So,
All right, let me get set up here for you.
Absolutely.
all right. And then after you sing your songs, Tracy, I want you to tell everybody how they can get your music,
Okay.
you and whatever projects you have coming up would be great.
Okay. Do you want me to sing both of them now?
Yeah, that'd be great.
Okay. In here. All right. So. Why did I say yes?
So if you didn't hear her, she's going to do Why Did I Say Yes?
Can you hear it?
Say something again. Yes. Yes.
Your voice louder.
We want you to turn your voice up if
Voice
you
has
can.
to come up.
Yeah. Yeah. We can hear the music nicely, but the voice needs to come in a little louder.
I finally broke away from this toxic love affair. I had begun to heal and move on, no worse for wear. Then I saw you and accepted your invitation to spend time. And before I knew what happened, I was back in the same old grind. Why did I say yes when I know you're not the best man for my life? I don't wanna be your one. Why did I say yes when I should have said no? I'll say it once again, baby, I have got to go. You hurt me with your words, make me feel like less than I deserve. You say you love me, then you don't. You say you will, and then you go round and round. We go on this roller coaster show. I'm staying on my high, and I am done with all the lies. So why did I say yes when I know you're not the best man for my life? I don't wanna be young. Why did I say yes when I should have said no? Or say it once again, baby, I
That was so great.
Wonderful, Tracy. That was fantastic.
Thank you, thank you.
Fantastic.
So this next tune is the one, thank you, is the one that blew up. Yay!
Yay!
That came out number 2 after Dave Koz. I always like to say after Dave Koz, so it's like, Dave Koz.
Number 2 after Dave Koz
Right.
is definitely better than just
number 2 anytime.
number 2.
All right, here we go. It's called Sweeter with Time. And by the way, that song, Why Did I Say Yes? That was my band playing in the background that we play at Buddy Guys.
I can't wait to hear you over
Yay,
there.
they were fantastic. Who are the guys in the band? Who are the guys in the band?
So my music director is Pat Fleming. And then Malcolm Banks on drums, Tom Bites is on keys, Paul Martin on bass, and then James Perkins on sax and flute.
Wonderful. Wonderful. They were fantastic.
Thank you. All right, here's Sweeter with Time, and the music here, it was written by Kendall Duffy, and then the artists were, I don't have enough to my tongue, but they are, they're known, and you've probably heard them on a lot of major records, but they're really good. And so here we go.
And Kendall Duffy wrote the music, you wrote the lyrics, right?
Sorry. Go ahead.
He wrote the music, you wrote the lyrics, right?
Yes.
For this one?
Yep.
Yes, okay.
It was
fabulous.
Wow, that was amazing. Beautiful.
Oh my gosh, that was fantastic. Fantastic. You write so beautifully.
Thank you. Thank you.
You write beautifully. That was gorgeous.
Where can we find your recordings?
You can find the recording anywhere you like to download music, Amazon, iTunes, Apple. You can stream it on Spotify, and you can also get it off my site, TrayceEileen.com. And you can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Trayce Eileen, and yeah.
And I want to say Trayce Eileen is spelled.
Yes, thank you.
Yes, that's a big deal.
Yeah, so Tracy is spelled Tracye, and then Eileen is spelled Eileen. And then I also have a YouTube channel. Some stuff is on there. And on the Facebook and Instagram, I do the live show. I do like a couple songs on Monday called Music Mondays at lunch or at 5, depending on my work day. And then every Friday at 7 is where I do the full Meet Me in My Parlor.
Very nice.
And you do that for an hour, right? The Meet Me in My Parlor.
About more like between 40 and 45 minutes.
45 minutes. It's a real treat. I go to her Meet Me in My Parlor before I do my own Zoom on Friday.
Oh, thank you, Lynn.
She's really good. She's really good.
When does your residency at Buddy Guys begin again?
They said July. So, and I was like, well, what date might that be? They're like, we don't know, but it'll be July. I was like, okay. So that's why I'm saying I'll be back either July or August because, I gotta get the musicians together and so I'm assuming we'll be back into our second Sunday rotation at least by August, and then we'll see about July.
Cool. That'll be after my Zoom show.
Awesome. Yay! Okay, yeah.
Right.
And the Buddy Guys Legend Show is every second Sunday from 5 to 8, and we do about a 45-minute set. No, I'm sorry, we do an hour and 15-minute set. And we break for 30, and then we come back and do another hour and 15 minutes.
Can't wait to see you live.
That is perfect timing, isn't it, Sammy?
Yeah.
It's perfect. That's wonderful. Yeah, that was fantastic, Tracy.
So good.
I'm so glad that you joined us today.
I'm so glad I did too. I really appreciate having me.
Oh my gosh, we're so happy to have you. And can we all please give her a big hand?
Thank you. Thank you
Please give her a big hand. Oh, wait a second.
Added.
Derek.
Oh, you got the house music version?
Derek said just added house version on Why Did I Say Yes?
Oh, thank you, Derek.
Yay, that's awesome. He also has a business mind. That's why.
Yeah, there we go.
Yes,
He's
really
a business
good.
guy. He's a corporate guy. He gets the whole sales piece and all of that, which is why we see a whole package with him too. Right,
Yes.
Derek?
Yes, really good. Love it.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, Derek.
Thank you so much, hon. So happy for you to be here. We're going to go to our third guest, so hopefully you'll stick around for
Thanks, Tracy.
the incredible
Thank you.
Thomas Morkos. Thank you, Tracy.
Thank you, guys.
Thomas
Other
Morkos.
side of, we're going south of the equator.
Oh my gosh.
Not the other side of the world, but south of the equator.
Yeah, we're going to Rio de Janeiro. Hi, Thomas.
Hi, Leanne. Hi, Sammy. Hi, everybody.
Hi,
Hi, here I am
welcome to
from Rio.
Composers
Yeah,
Cafe.
yeah. And
You're
first
here
of
from
all,
Rio.
first of all, I want to write a song. I want to sing it with Tracy, and it's gotta be remixed by Derek. So the world of it. What are you?
And we get producer credits for putting you three together.
That's right. And Derek already said deal. He likes that. Derek says yes.
Yeah, Tracy is there. I'm waiting for Tracy.
Yeah, you can sing it with Tracy, and Derek can make it house. And it's interesting because I think with our show, Sammy, we've been doing this for 9 months.
I know.
And we've had like 6 people connect with each other and work together and do projects and start writing songs, and it's been fantastic to
better
just connect
connection.
people.
Just for
Yeah,
that.
I
great.
think this is one of the best parts of working with music, to get connected with so nice people, so talented people all over the world. Derek, I loved your song, and Tracy, you are amazing. I was listening to you singing, and I was wondering,
Aw.
man, I gotta listen to one of my songs
She's
on her voice.
too when
So
she sings.
Yes,
congratulations for you. And Lynn and Sammy, you are so kind, so smart, so kind. It's a pleasure to be here with you. Thank you
oh,
very
Thomas,
much.
Coming
thank you
on.
so much. We are so
Right.
happy to have you. So you're a big music sensation over in Rio. Can you tell us about what your career
Yeah,
is like over there?
yeah. Unfortunately, it's nighttime here in Rio because I live on the beach here, in front of the beach.
Yeah.
So my music is about bossa nova and music in Rio de Janeiro beach. So if it was earlier, I could show you the sea.
You can
We'll
show us the
get
sea. Yes.
some little taste of Rio, okay, for you. And
Yes.
I want to say hello to my fans because I have some friends of mine here and
Yay.
with us.
On Zoom.
I,
Awesome.
I think Nalu, Drica, boa noite, minhas queridas, bem-vindas aqui. I'm speaking Portuguese to them, okay? I think they are online right now.
Yay. Online or Facebook Live. Facebook Live.
Yeah,
Yeah.
on
Yes,
Facebook
they're on
Live.
Facebook Live. Yes.
So you asked about my work. I work with bossa nova and Brazilian music at the original Rio de Janeiro style. You know, it's something very unique from Rio, uh, which has spread all over the world through my master's work. Jobim and João Gilberto. I was listening to the first song of Tracy. It has some bossa swing. I felt that, didn't you?
Oh yeah.
Yes,
Did you feel?
definitely. Yes.
Yeah. So
Yes.
So
this swing, this bossa nova swing that mixed it with the jazz style.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a perfect combination for relax, enjoy, and as Derek said, positive music,
Yes.
which elevates our souls and our heart. We can play at funerals. Yes, isn't it, Derek? Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. And I love that when Thomas plays, most of the time that I've seen you play, you're standing in front of the water. So you
Yeah,
get to see the sea and you hear the
yeah,
music. It's a whole package for me with you and your music. Yeah.
exactly. There is a sea movement,
Yeah.
like it's the waves.
Yeah.
So I look at the sea and I start to write my songs.
Yeah.
This is what I do. And the good news is that people all over the world are understanding and getting this spirit from Rio again through my songs all over the world, in Japan, Germany. I now there is a fan from Italy. He's a He's a painter. He paints.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And he paints listening to my bossa nova songs. This is amazing.
Aw,
and does he
that's
paint ocean
amazing.
scenes?
Yeah.
He does.
So this is an amazing thing.
Oh, somebody shared.
I think somebody's,
Are they going to share a picture of? Oh, I thought they were going to share a picture
I
of.
don't know.
Darn.
But this
I
is an
don't know.
amazing
I
thing,
just
you
took
know?
it down. I wasn't sure if
Yeah.
I didn't know who that was.
So, like, do you know my masters? Like my masters, I get my guitar here in Rio. I look at
Yeah.
the same sea from Rio, and I write my songs. This is as simple as that. Me and my guitar, and then I share it to the world. So to feel that connection with people is something you can describe, you can talk, you can explain. You know what I mean, Lee? It's something really special
Yeah.
because there's nothing. It's just me, my guitar, and the lyrics and the melodies. It's something really amazing, and this kind of format, it, we have famous artists like that all over the world, like Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan is a guy who worked with his guitar, his acoustic guitar for a long time. Here in Gilberto, with I feel so sometimes lonely. What you know what I mean? Lonely, me, my guitar, my music, but we're not lonely. Music connects the hearts.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's amazing. Okay,
Yeah.
of
That's where the
course.
magic happens.
Yeah, but of course, we go to the studios and we produce it. So there is the second part of the magic, which is when the other instruments they are playing together with your song.
Yeah.
It grows and it becomes more and more beautiful.
It's like a
So
child growing up.
yeah, exactly.
Child
So
going out into the world.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, but there is I have something in my mind here. I think Derek and Tracy will understand me. Is that the song must be good with your guitar, man, with your piano. Just like when I was watching Derek video composing on his piano, doing the
Mhm.
melody and the harmonies, and that was really good. So when I do the mixes, it gets better and better and better. So I have this thing in me. I have to write a song, and it must feel good, and it must be good with me and my guitar. So everything that comes over is better and better, right?
And
One
better and
day
better.
I have a dream to play my songs with a symphony orchestra,
Oh,
like
yes.
symphonic orchestra. That would be fantastic. Can you imagine that?
Do you hear that? So I know you write everything. You write the lyrics, you write the music, right? You or
Yeah.
you you're writing everything. So
Yes.
so you're
The
usually
easiest part.
you and your guitar. Do you hear symphony also? Can you hear all of that?
Yes, everything's in my mind.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everything I can feel the flutes, the
Yeah.
violin instruments, but I don't play it. I can't play that. But they are in my mind, you
Yeah.
know, and they help me to go to some melody lines,
Mm.
some arrangements on the guitar. You
Yeah.
can feel it when I play it, one of my songs. But
Yeah.
about composing, it's a composer's cafe, isn't it?
Yes. Yes.
About composing, I don't know if Tracy or Derek they have the same difficulty or the same. For me, the easiest part is to write the harmonies or melodies. It's easy because I'm here with you and we can just everything da 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 you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Here, you got the song. It's easy.
Yeah.
So
You
Derek
got a
comes
song.
with toots, toots, all right? And Tracy with the voice. But
Right.
the difficulty for me is the lyrics because the lyrics uh, are the message. Do you know what I mean? They are
Yeah.
what the song are about.
Yes.
So it's very important to be creative, to be different, to say what hasn't been
Yeah.
said. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Uh, and as a bit of said, there's nothing you can say that can be said. Is
That's
it?
right.
Is that correct?
That's it.
So my master Jobim, Antonio Carlos Jobim,
Yes.
he told that in an interview. He was saying he was very uh, fixed on the lyrics
Mm.
and very obsessed with the lyrics of the song. And this is
Yeah.
very interesting because when bossa nova mixed it with the jazz and go all over the world, as we know,
Yeah. Yeah.
um, it jazz is instruments talk a lot at jazz music,
Hmm.
a lot, and
Yes.
his melodies and harmonies were recognized all over the world. One of the most beautiful melodies and harmonies all over the world, and
Yes.
he was recognized as a musician, as a composer.
Hmm.
And he said, "But hey, jazz world, I wrote the lyrics. The lyrics is too important to me, and Jobin's lyrics were amazing.
Yeah. He's
You know,
amazing. Yeah.
so
His
this is
music
something
is
interesting.
amazing. Yeah.
And it's very tough to me
Yeah.
because I have now 60 songs that I wrote and show it to my fans. 60 songs.
Mhm.
But each lyric has a message, has something different, has something cool, has something to say. And also it has a challenge to disconnect from the text, from the music of the 60s, because it's
Mm.
different nowadays. We speak different from the
Yes.
60s, you know?
Yes.
So
Yes.
the subject has changed. So this is one of my songs called Like a Miracle Once More. I talk about a guy who missed a girl and he starts to do everything he did when he met her at the first time. So he went to a rock and roll bar, he was listening a rock and roll band and drinking a beer with the same clothes that he was wearing at their first night, you know? And
Oh, wow.
so this is a different subject. It's not the same thing that my
No.
bossa nova master said. Do you know what I mean, Tracy? Like the beach, the ocean, the sea, and the sand, all of the flowers. It's a different kind of lyric. And that called the attention of one of my masters, Roberto Menescal, who recorded with me. So I keep working that, say different things in my bossa nova, my contemporary bossa, as the fans, foreign fans, they call contemporary bossa from here.
Is
Okay,
that
I'm
why
speaking
is that why
because I have a
is
lot to say. Sorry, I'm
is
speaking
but is
too
that why
much.
you were recognized by Robertino because your lyrics were different?
Yeah, there. My lyrics, the bossa. If I listen, the bossa nova, it has this poetry. It's poetry.
Yeah.
It is. Its essence is from the 60s. So there was a more kind way to talk about things, more innocent. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
Yes,
you
I
have to
do.
put some
The
salt.
lyrical style was
Yeah,
different
you
back
have to
then.
put
Yes.
some spicy, a little bit, not too much.
Yeah, you had to bring it to today.
Today, yeah, we are into 2020, 2021. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
Yes.
You're
it
right.
has
The
to have,
were more of a story that had a beginning and an
yeah,
end. And I think the newer stuff is more esoterical. It's more of a painting, a feeling.
yeah, exactly, Sammy. Thank you very much. I'm not from the United States, so my English is a little bit not perfect. I cannot
It's
express
good.
everything in English as I wanted to, you know?
It's
No, you
good. It's good though.
answered an age-old question for me because I've always like, what came first? What's more important? The music, the lyrics, the production. And you explained it in a way that really makes a lot of sense. The lyrics they tell the story. They're what draw you into the melody.
Exactly. But you can't do a different lyric with the same format. You have to find this cool thing in the harmonies and melodies too to make a combination.
Yeah,
It's a
and it
hard
has to
work. I
flow. It has to
sometimes,
flow.
yeah, sometimes I take 2, 3 months to write one song. It's
Yeah.
a very tough work here. But
Yeah.
the song
Yeah.
span the world. You don't know who's going to listen to it. Like we are here together today.
Yeah.
I'm gonna play a song that take 3 months to write 2 years ago. But here we
Yeah.
are. You know what I mean? Like forever.
Yeah.
It's a magic.
Yeah. We
And
we
one day
we
I will listen to Tracy singing this song. That's gonna be fantastic.
Well, yeah, we'll have to make sure that you guys connect. We had a guest on last month on Composers Cafe, who his writing process was very different. Daryl Duncan, when he writes and he hears the idea, he hears the whole thing right now, all at once.
And then he
And
Oh,
that's very different from us writing songs, and we might take 2 days or 2 weeks or, like you said, 3 months to perfect
yeah.
it. Daryl Duncan can hear the whole song, and he writes the whole thing all at one time. I thought that
You
was
got
so
to,
unique
you
and so
have to
interesting.
introduce this guy to me, man.
Yeah.
I gotta know. I need to know this guy. I gotta learn
You
from
have to.
him.
We'll introduce you because he was one of our previous composers. So we'll have to connect everybody. We'll
Yeah,
have to connect.
that's
That'd be interesting, Sammy, to bring everybody together. Um,
A
but
big
but
songwriting
a,
company, and they could
a
write a
big
song right on our show.
right on the show. But Thomas, tell us how you started writing music. When did you start? How old were you? What made you start writing songs?
a long time ago. I was 13, 13 years old. I started to write songs in Tim Maia style. Tim Maia was a famous songwriter from Brazil, so he's
Hmm.
well known internationally. But then I fall in love with rock and roll as all the guy at my age, like teenager. But
Yeah.
then I fell in love with the carioca style, the samba at the carnival parade. So I started to play cavaquinho, which is a little guitar. I don't know if you know it. It's a little guitar with a
No.
bright sound,
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
it is used at carnival parade. So I started to write songs
Okay.
for carnival parade. I won some samba for carnival parade, which is fantastic. You should come to Rio to carnival parade. It's amazing.
I
Now,
would love to.
We'll bring the
then
whole Composers Cafe.
yeah,
All of us will come.
That's one of my
yeah. Then I went back to rock and roll and I recorded a rock and roll album here, a carioca rock and roll. There's a lot of rock and roll here in Rio. Rio is
Oh,
an
which
amazing
answers
city.
another question. So there's more music than just bossa nova in Brazil.
Yeah, man, Rio de Janeiro is fantastic. We have everything here, everything. We are the cultural capital of Brazil. So we have all the Brazilian styles here and international style because Rio is an international city. It's a very big and
Yeah.
famous city. So we have people from all over the world all year long here because it's summertime every day.
Mm.
Even in winter, it's hot.
Oh wow.
So people come for vacations
Wow.
from all over the world all the year. So you have this international exchange, cultural and everything. Okay. Then I did a pop.
Wow.
Then this is interesting. Then I did a pop work, pop music. Here in Rio, we have this pop music style too. But I was decided to get married, and this is important. I decided to get married. So I abandoned
Yeah.
all my musical work because I was about to get married. I was about to get married. So I abandoned my work because my girl she didn't like it so much that I was
Aw.
singing here sometimes. So I decided to quit and left music behind. So the marriage didn't work. We broke up. And I was watching the sea
Yeah.
and my guitar, and I decided to write a song. But this is the interesting thing. I decided to write a song as a hobby, as a rock and roll, not as a bossa nova. And while I was playing this rock and roll song, I didn't know what to write in the chorus.
Mhm.
So I started to play the song like samba. You know what I mean? Like samba.
Yeah.
And it was amazing because it wasn't the samba, it wasn't the rock and roll, it wasn't the bossa nova. It was something different.
Yeah.
It was something different. So I started to do this lab here. This is a lab. My work is a lab. So I started to write songs in this style, mixing all the region and experience and with original music and samba and bossa nova and this international feeling with rock and roll, pop music,
Oh.
house, jazz, and everything. So it became my
Yeah.
work. I started to share with people. I started to share it in the internet, and it became like a phenomenon. Everybody's loving it all over the world. And I recorded with Roberto Menescal, the master of bossa nova. He listened to my bossa nova and I decided to record his guitars, my song, blessing my work. And now everything is happening in a way I couldn't predict. It's a God thing, you know.
So you created
Thank
you
God.
kind
And thank
of
you.
created you cre- you created the style or the genre by combining all of those elements. Did you create the
Well,
style or the genre?
yeah, actually, we can say that in a simple way. We can say that. We can say because
Yeah.
uh, how can I explain that in English? Uh, Bossa Nova has patterns, standards. It has some standards as music,
Yeah. Yeah.
and it has a standard also in the rhythm. And abroad, you listen to a lot of songs that are recorded at bossa nova rhythm, but they are not bossa nova. They are not bossa nova. They are recorded in the bossa nova style, But something is missing there because it was not written to be a bossa nova. So you felt sometimes not in the perfect rhythm. Do you know what I mean? When you write a
Yeah.
song to be
Yeah.
a bossa nova, bossa nova. If you listen to my songs or Girl from Ipanema, for example, you have the rhythm elements at the melody. Da, 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 da. It's like a percussion rhythm at the
You
melody.
have to say,
So
Tom,
Sammy, when you write a song to be a bossa nova, but with these new elements and standards combined, you can create something. Yes, we can say that.
I was going to say, you could take old jazz standards and play them like a bossa nova, but you cannot take a bossa nova and play it swing.
Perfect.
Bossa nova
Yeah.
Mm.
can only be bossa nova, but
Mm.
a swing can be played as a bossa nova. And it's really interesting because one time I tried to
Interesting.
swing Girl from Ipanema, it's like, can't happen.
Kenya. Yeah.
You're like,
Yeah.
that didn't work.
Doesn't work.
Yeah.
And I thought, that's weird.
And there is
They're all
just
for
one
sure.
thing, one last thing about my work and to my friends and Tracy and Derek who are listening to. Uh, for many reasons I can't explain here because it's a very extensive issue. We don't have new songwriters, bossa nova songwriters, Rio. Do you know what I mean? We don't have many. I work with bossa nova a long time now, and I don't meet people that as a movement, it's something like lonely here. It's weird because when I come to think about it, imagine you are from Chicago. When you think about Rio, you might think, oh, everybody in Rio plays bossa nova, isn't it? Because it's from
Mhm.
Rio. You
Right.
have this kind of relation, but
Mhm.
it's not that common here because it's a very difficult music style to get as a musician, but also it's not so popular here. It's not a popular style. It's not a
Oh,
massive style. It is something more sophisticated. It's a closed. It's a closed world. It's a
interesting.
little world.
It's a
Yeah.
small world, and we would think over here. We think everything
Bossa
is
nova.
bossa nova in Brazil. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like,
No.
does
Yeah.
everybody play it?
Wow.
Yeah, because bossa nova. This is a very interesting subject, and I know it very well because I was born and raised here in Rio. My father is American, by the way. My father lives in Dallas, Texas, but I was
Oh my
born here. My
goodness.
mother's Brazilian, and I live here in Rio, and we own a school here. I'm a school principal in my work time. In my free time, I'm a bossa nova composer.
Yeah.
Interesting, yeah.
Yeah.
But as you know, bossa nova, it's a samba particle. Samba, samba is very big here, very big. We have the samba school parade. We have the popular samba. You have samba from communities. You have the pop samba, known as pagode. But bossa nova, it's one part of it, and it's the most difficult one because one song of mine, you're gonna play with 200 chords. A boy like I was once, you can get the guitar and start playing that song without studying, and understanding. And when you are young, you want to play the songs to the girls, right? And easy songs and sing to the girls, and this is it. So bossa nova is hard. You got to study a lot, take time. Um, so it's not as popular as you think. But when you grow up and you see the power of the song, you fall in love, and then things start happening. So the majority of people that I see working in bossa nova here, they are not boys and girls. They are men and women, grown.
Yes.
Like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
How did it feel working with Robert Maniscal?
That was amazing blessing of God. It's like when your master come to record your song. Can you imagine that, Derek? Derek, for example, he was talking to us about uh, his inspirations as a musician, as a composer. Albert Menezes is one of the founders of bossa nova.
Yeah.
So he listened to my songs through our co-producer, and he wanted to record his guitars and my song, not one of his songs. Do you know what I mean? Like, I want to record your
That's
song.
wonderful.
And that's very interesting, Sammy. That's very interesting. When I was recording this song, and he was recording the guitars, and he stopped listening, and he think loud, like, this song is so good. This song is so good. And I was watching that, it was, hey, this is my song. I can't believe it. And when I met him at studio, at the first time, I started to cry. I couldn't hide it because I was so emotive to see one of my masters doing that with me. What he did was so important. He opened this bossa nova world to my work, blessed my work. He said, hey, this guy, listen to his work. He's working hard doing a song. Listen to him because his music is very good, very fantastic. So when I am writing a new song, it comes with a big responsibility, man. Big responsibility. It makes
The pressure is on.
work for me. And one last thing, I like to talk about this. I tell my fans and friends and people in music that I have a trouble. I have a really big trouble because my masters, they are genius. Genius. Joe Bean was a genius. João Gilberto was a genius. Menescal is a genius. Man, you gotta see Derek. You gotta see this guy playing guitar. It's amazing, jazzy guitar. He plays in bossa nova. I don't know what. I was looking at the arm of the instrument, like how can he do that? And so now it's my time to write a song. So I listen to the masters. Lynn, can you imagine that? I listen to the masters.
Yes. Yes.
And then now it's my time to write a song. Man, what I am doing here, what I am doing here, do you know what I mean? So, and like a magic, or as the song says, like a miracle once more, things are happening. And this is an amazing thing. Thank you so much for listening to my stories here.
Oh my
music.
goodness, you have such a wonderful story, Thomas, and
I want to
we
play
are so
my
happy
song
to
here.
have you.
I want to play my
Yes,
song.
we would love. Yes, we would love for you to play your two songs. Your story is amazing. I know you are a sensation in
wanna
Rio
play
de
my
Janeiro, and we're just so happy to know you here. It's
Me too.
fantastic.
I hope we can get back more and more. And the next Composers
Oh.
Cafe, I want to play the song I'm going to write with Derek and Tracy, okay?
Yes, yes.
And Sammy, as the rule of the Composers Cafe, not one song. Tracy and Derek, it's two songs. Two songs.
Yeah, well, when you come back for the reunion, we're gonna have you do 3 songs. You'll do 3 songs when you come back for the reunion.
3 songs.
Yes.
Okay. 4.
The show
All right,
is
well,
2 days long. It'll be a festival, a weekend festival.
Okay. An album, a full album. Listen, can I do a sound check here? Can you hear my guitar?
Yes.
The
Yes,
volume of voice and guitar, fine.
you sound good.
So this song is called Like a Miracle Once More, the one I was telling you. And that was recorded with my master, Beth Minishka. Minishka, a hug for you. Big hug. I'm in the bar again with a beer bottle in my hand at the concert of our friend's band. They're playing REM. I wonder if you're gonna come in through that door the same way you used to be, and dance all night with me. But then I realize it's just my imagination. Trying to do this know what it's gone for so long. There's so many times we don't even have a conversation. I wish I could know how are you, where did you go? 'Cause I miss you, my future, the past and fire. 'Cause I miss you, together we fly higher. And I miss you, here's my last desire. Come in through that door like a miracle once more. Like a miracle once more. I'm wearing my green shirt that matched with your skirt. That night when I saw you first, I wanted you so much. Then I realized it's just my imagination. Trying to live as I hope, but it's gone for so long. There's so many times we don't even have a conversation. I wish I could know how are you, where did you go? Did you go? 'Cause I miss you, my future, past and fire. 'Cause I miss you, together we fly higher. And I miss you, here's my last desire. Come down through that door like a miracle once more. Like a miracle once more. Like a miracle once more. Thank you.
Ah,
Like
that
a miracle once more.
Oh, Thomas, that was fantastic.
Thank you.
My goodness, that was beautiful.
are you classically trained on guitar?
I've done everything. The lyrics, the harmonies, including his theme. All right, everything. And this is a nice thing for Beth Minishkau. He loved this. He maintained this introduction. Right? He loved the theme, but inside of the song, he did so many more. It's fantastic. It's worth listening. Very, very good. Okay.
I,
Very, very good. And Sammy was talking about your training. What kind of training do you have on guitar? Do you have training like guitar school or lessons or teacher for guitar?
No, absolutely nothing. Just studying by myself. And
wow.
watching and feeling the Derek
Yeah.
and Tracy. There's something interesting about bossa nova because it's the rhythm it's a percussion rhythm. So when
Yeah.
we are playing, we are listening to a tambourine inside of our hearts, like this.
Yeah.
Tack, 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 can you understand that? It's like
Yeah.
the hand plays exactly the variation of the tambourine. So when you
Yeah.
listen too much samba all your life,
Yeah.
it plays inside of you the rhythm, and you just put it
Yeah.
on the guitar. It's something weird to explain, but that's how it works, you
Yeah.
know. So there is no, there is the traditional bossa nova standard, which was this the, synthesized. I don't know how to say it, which
Yeah.
was the João Gilberto beat.
Yeah.
This João Gilberto is this is the essence. But if you see playing live, it doesn't play this all the time. It uses the tambourine
Yeah.
variation. This is the basics, and there is that, and all that crazy stuff.
Beautiful.
It's infinite variation. It's amazing.
That was
Thank you.
beautiful.
Let's
Well,
talk.
you
It's
have
a musical talk, right? It's a musical talk.
yeah,
Gorgeous.
it's beautiful. And you have another song to play for us, right? You have your
Yeah,
second song?
I have another
Yeah.
59 songs. I have 59 songs to play to. But I'm gonna play
Well,
my
can
friend
we
here.
can we yeah, let's get the one. Let's get one more.
One more at least, yeah.
There is
One
a
more.
fan of mine, Rika. He asked me to play Carnival for you.
A request.
But I was intent to play Yesterday You Were Here because the song that I have a video clip too. Okay?
Yeah.
So Drika, I'm gonna play Yesterday You Were Here. Okay? This is a downbeat, smooth song called Yesterday
And did you
You Were Here.
and you wrote everything on
Can I
this
play
one
it?
too, right? You wrote everything on this one too,
All the
right?
songs are written, everything. The
Everything.
music,
Okay, good.
melodies, all the lyrics.
Good. Good. Okay.
This song is about a guy. You can call me too. It's about a man who was in love with a girl, and she came to his house, spend the night with him, and in the morning she left. She goes to work or something like that, you know. And he gets the guitar and write a song called "Yesterday You Were Here." Okay. I woke up this morning feeling so good. If I could have the world, I think I would. 'Cause yesterday you were here. Yesterday you were here. I think I am in love again. Now for sure it's gonna last. So put somebody else okay to make it happen very fast. Come back today and tomorrow. Let's love the same, just as we know. Come back today and tomorrow. Let's love the same, just as we know. Yes, I look at this moment, things are fine. I won't come back in time to make it mine. 'Cause yesterday you were yesterday. I think I am in love again. For sure it's gone past. Some violence okay to make it happen everywhere. Come back today until morning. Let's love the same, just as we know. Come back today until morning. Let's love the same, just as we know. Come back to stay and never go away. Away. Never go. Never, never go. Never, never go away. Never, never go. Never, never go. Never, never go away. Away. So good, so fun, so good, so fun. Thank you.
So good.
Whoa, Thomas. Bravo, bravo.
Thank you.
That was lovely. Fantastic.
Where can we buy your music?
Thank you. You can find my music when you write my name,
Ah,
Thomas Morkos, Thomas. Morkos is Morkos. Instagram is Thomas Morkos. The Facebook, there is it's Morkos Thomas. Okay. In YouTube channel, Thomas Morkos. You can find in all these platforms all the songs I wrote. Okay, 60 songs. And at Spotify, this is an important thing for a good ending. At Spotify, you can find these songs produced with other instruments, with my musical producer, Guilherme G, which is a genius. The world will know this guy. He's a fantastic producer here in Rio of Brazilian music. And he's a co-producer with Roberto Menescal. So at Spotify, you can listen to the professional records, okay?
Nice. And I
All
think
right.
Christina's going to put your website in the chat. Thomas Morkos.
I did already. I'll put it
Oh,
again.
thank you so much, Christina.
Thank you,
That was
Christina.
fantastic. Wow, Thomas, you have been such a joy. All three of our guests today, Sammy.
show. Yes.
I
Yes.
mean, we love to learn so much about different genres and different artists, and we have such a vast variety of talent here, and we're so grateful for all of you guys for being here with us today. Thank you so
Thank you
much,
very
Thomas.
much.
Well,
Yeah,
Thank you
and
so much
Tracy,
for
guys,
being here.
reunion.
don't forget, we have 4 songs to write together. 4.
Yes.
Yes,
I'm
yes,
following you on Instagram, Thomas, so follow me back.
My
yes.
pleasure.
Yes, Trayce Eileen has followed you already. Derek unfortunately had to leave because his show, as a matter of fact, his show started 10 minutes ago. So he had to leave to go to that. But we will definitely be bringing everybody back together in a few months for the reunion show. And I think maybe at the end of a year, maybe Sammy and I can consider bringing all of our guests back for the last.
And
It will definitely
We'll
be
you
have a
have a,
year's
you
worth
have
of
a,
be a
guests.
festival. It'll be like 3 days.
It'll be a 3-day festival. We can all fly to Brazil.
you have a friend here. You all, Christina, Tracy, Lynn. Sam, you have a friend here in Rio. So if you want to have vacations and spend some time at the beach here, come over, okay? I'll let the keys with you. So stay
That's,
here at home.
that's so sweet.
Hey,
Thank you so much, Thomas.
thanks, everybody. Just great show.
Yeah.
Thanks, Zoom audience, and thanks, Facebook Live, for joining us.
Yes, and please
Okay.
do go to the Facebook Live.
You say bye now.
Yes, go to Facebook Live and comment and like and share so that we can spread this show everywhere. Thank you so much for being here, Sammy, and I really appreciate you guys. We will see you next time on Composers Cafe.
Thank you all.
Thank you.
Have a great evening.
Bye. I love you. Bye.
I love you too.
Bye, Facebook.
Yay.